Logging into the network. You can log into the network by going to any of the sites hosted on mcnrc.org. The benefit of going through mcnrc.org is that you'll be able to see announcements to the network. When given the prompt for username and password, it's important to remember that your username is your first initial followed by your entire last name, and your password will be the C2L project unless you've changed it. So that's C2L project, and then you can hit login. Now, once you log in, it's very important to understand the administrative bar in WordPress. The administrative bar in WordPress is the bar that is persistent across the top of your screen. And this is where you'll have access to all of the features that you'll need to pretty much do anything. So from left to right, what they contain are a WordPress button, which will give you information about WordPress itself, which version we're running, WordPress.org, which is the informational site for the software that we're using, as well as documentation and support forums. Next to that, you'll see My Sites, which is a list of all the sites you have visited and have access to. The type of access varies depending on the site. This is the easiest way for you to get to your campus portfolio. Next to My Sites is the name of the site that you are currently visiting or viewing. Depending on your permissions for this site, you will have access to the dashboard or you will not. Next to this, you'll see notifications, right? So you'll see a notification button that lets you know any friend requests you have pending or whatnot. And then after that, you'll have access to your name, which gives you all of your activity, all of your sites, your friends, your groups, pretty much all of the social functionality within our network site will be located here. All right. Lastly, you'll have this search bar where you'll be able to search for pretty much anything. So for example, if I wanted to search for the feedback form, I type in feedback, and then it will search the MCNRC site for all things containing feedback. All right, so now we're going to talk about getting to your campus portfolios, which, as I said before, the easiest way to do that is through the My Sites option. You're going to go to My Sites, hover over it, go down to campus name, and then when you click it, you will be automatically sent to your dashboard. Now, understanding the dashboard is really important. We went over this during the Institute, but I'm going to go over it again now. So in your dashboard, when you get here, you'll find a main area that gives you a brief look at all the content contained within your portfolio, such as posts and page counts, as well as the categories that are being used, and even which theme you're using with the amount of widgets that you are using as well. The three main kind of areas that you're going to be working on are in the dashboard menu, which is right here on the left-hand side of your page. And those are the posts area, the media area, and the pages area. Posts is where you'll find all of your practices, stories, profiles, and later on reflections. Media is where you'll get to manage the media assets you've uploaded, such as documents, images, PDFs, videos, and the like. Pages is where you'll find the narrative and contextual portions of the website, such as who we are, our campus, and our student voices. And so to begin editing any of these, basically, you're going to click on one of them. So let's start with editing posts and pages. Let's start with posts. So for example, you'll see I'm actually using a sample portfolio, and I've created a bunch of sample posts here, which are supposed to be varied practices. To edit one of these posts, you're simply going to highlight one of them and then click on the edit button. Okay. And now to edit a page, you're going to go to pages, right? And you're going to do basically the same thing. So editing pages and posts is pretty much identical, both in that you have the same options available to you here in the text editor and the way that you access them. So To begin with, let's talk about formatting. Whenever you get to the post or the page that you wish to update, right? Let's go back to posts. Let's use the scaling up story. You'll find that the editor, right? So the editor that I have open here is very similar to Microsoft Word and Digication and the options that it has. The other thing that you'll notice is that you also have additional things like styles that you can add to different texts, such as headings. Headings are going to be very important as we use them to categorize different areas of the specific practice and make them easier to read. So you're breaking up your content with these headings. If you find that you do not have this lower area available to you, what you want to do is you want to hover over the Show Hide Kitchen Sink, and that's actually what toggles between both views. So if you're not going to be doing anything fancy, you can leave it, unchecked. But then when you want to get into adding advanced formatting, you'll make sure that the Show Kitchen Sink option is clicked in. Something to keep in mind is that whenever you wish to add a header, you want to add that on a separate line. So for example, if I were going to add a header here that says introduction, I'd make sure that was on a separate line before highlighting it and then making it a header. You'll notice that headers go from heading 1 down all the way to 6. Each one is a subheader of the one above it. For those of you who wish to have more control over the way your practices are displaying, you can omit using the visual editor in lieu of the text editor. And what the text editor is it uses a very basic markup language and HTML to make everything appear on your page exactly the way that you want it. So for those of you who wish to use HTML and CSS to do this, this is how you would go about doing that. Also, when we get into later putting in embedded video, you're also going to have to use this text area as well. All right, so that's it for our overview of getting to your posts and pages to edit them. The next thing that we're going to cover is features specific to posts. So thank you for listening.